Hello everyone. So in this video I am going to tell you about the dermatitis herpetiformis. So dermatitis herpetiformis. So in this the other name of this disease is During's disease. So this is the other name of this disease, During's disease. The other name is dermatitis herpetiformis. So basically what is happen in the dermatitis, as from the name we can assume that derma means skin, itis means inflammation. So on the skin there is inflammation. So why this inflammation is going on? So basically in this there is a chronic inflammation. So chronic inflammation, and which layer of the skin is there inflammation is going on? So basically in this the subepidermal. So there is chronic subepidermal. So there is involvement of subepidermal layer of the skin, and in this there is immunity. Due to immune system there is inflammation. So it is a subepidermal immunobullous disease. So immunobullous disease. So it means that this in this disease there is some autoantibodies will be developed. So there is dermatitis herpetiformis. There is a chronic subepidermal. The involvement of skin is subepidermis, means below the epidermis layer. As we all know, there are layers like epidermis, and below the epidermis there is dermis layer. So in this there is below the epidermis layer. So below this epidermis layer there is inflammation is going on, and that is there is immunobullous disease, that is a dermatitis herpetiformis. And in what will happen in this disease? In this disease there is intense inflammation is there. So intense pruritus will be there. So intense pruritus will be there. So immunobullous disease which is associated with intense pruritus. Now what we have to know the disease profile. So for the disease profile we have to know which autoantibodies will be there. So autoantibodies will be there. So the autoantibodies is IgA. Please remember in this there is IgA, while in the pemphigus group there is IgG involvement is there. So this is the difference. Please remember IgA. So in the dermatitis herpetiformis IgA autoantibodies will be there, and they will target the which layer? So they will target the subepidermal layer, or we can say epidermal transglutaminase 3. Epidermal transglutaminase 3. So they target the transglutaminase 3, that is epidermal transglutaminase 3. And at what level they will target? They will target at the level of subepidermal. So they will target at the level of subepidermal. Please remember, subepidermal level they will target the epidermal transglutaminase 3. Now in this what is the genetic of dermatitis herpetiformis? So for the genetics we have to remember that in this there is HLA-DQ2, DQ8 and B8 will be there. Please remember this B8 is already asked in the previous year questions. So please remember HLA-DQ2, DQ8 and B8. So this is the genetics. Now what is the systemic association is there? So why these antibodies will develop? So systematic association they will develop because of the gluten sensitive enteropathy. So gluten, that is a celiac disease. So dermatitis herpetiformis is associated with celiac disease. So that the other name of celiac disease is gluten, that is gluten sensitive enteropathy. Means all those products which contain the gluten we develop the inflammation, that because celiac disease is associated with dermatitis herpetiformis. Now what is the clinical picture? So as in the image here we can see the clinical picture. So if in anywhere there is inflammation, so what will happen in the inflammation? There is redness, it will be there. There is itching will be there. So as we see in this image there is intensely pruritic papulovesicles rash will be there. So intense means very strongly itching will be there. So intensely pruritic papulovesicles will be there, or we can say there is grouped excoriation will be there. Grouped excoriation will be there. So as we see in these images, so there is like inflammation is going on, and there is papules and vesicles will be there. So please remember, this is the clinical picture of the dermatitis herpetiformis. Now in the, what is the site of the site in the dermatitis herpetiformis? So for this, the site is extensors, on the extensor side, on the extensor sides, or we can say on the extremities, and also on the buttocks, and also on the buttocks. Now what is the lab diagnosis? What we can do, like in the lab diagnosis, first we will see in the histopathological images. So in the histopathological images, histopathology images, what we can see, so as we see here that there is a subepidermal split will be there. So there is a subepidermal split, as we can see here, this is a subepidermal split is there, and also there is papillary tip microabscess will be there, and we can see there is papillary tip microabscess is also there, as in this image also we can see the papillary tip microabscess will be there, and subepidermal split is also we can see. So we can see subepidermal split plus what we can see the papillary tip microabscess, papillary tip microabscess. Now as we see here that all this is a epidermis layer, while this one is a split will be there, as now you can easily see that this one is a split is there. So this is a split is there, and there is subepidermal split is there. Now this is the first one lab diagnosis image, that is histopathological image. Now the second one, in the second one we can do the Zenk smear test, we can do the Zenk smear, and in the Zenk smear there is no acantholytic cells will be there, there is no acantholytic cells, acantholytic cells. So there is no acantholytic cells, and please remember that in the dermatitis herpetiformis, in the DH, we find the neutrophils. We find the neutrophils. Please remember, we will find the neutrophils, not the eosinophils. Please remember this point. It is very, very important that in the dermatitis herpetiformis, we find the neutrophils, and that is because interleukin 8 is a neutrophilic chemotactic factor. Neutrophilic chemotactic means it attracts the more and more neutrophils. Chemotactic factor. Now, but in the third one, in the third diagnosis, in the third lab diagnosis, we can see the direct immunofluorescence. We see direct immunofluorescence. So in the direct immunofluorescence, what we will find? We will find that there is a granular pattern. Please remember that there is a granular pattern. The points which I am highlighting here, these all were the differences for the differential diagnosis. For the dermatitis herpetiformis, we can easily diagnose that it is dermatitis herpetiformis, or it is pemphigus, or it is something else, because in this we can see the granular pattern, because in there is one more pattern, that is linear pattern, which is seen in the pemphigus group. So in the dermatitis herpetiformis there is granular pattern, in the dermatitis herpetiformis there is IgA deposition, while in the pemphigus group there is IgG deposition, and in that one there is a linear pattern is there in the pemphigus group. So in this we find the granular pattern is there, and also in this we can see that there is a IgA deposition is there, which I already told you that there is IgA deposition. So in both this immunofluorescence, in which we can see the granular pattern, in this we see in this one we find a granular pattern, in this we find a granular pattern. As we can see, more and more granules will be there, while in this image we see a linear pattern is there, and linear pattern is seen in the pemphigus group. Please remember, it is seen in pemphigus, while granular pattern is seen in the dermatitis herpetiformis. So this is the direct immunofluorescence pattern. And now what is the treatment? How we can treat the dermatitis herpetiformis? So for the treatment of dermatitis herpetiformis, we have to give the treatment of choice. The treatment of choice for herpetiformis is dapsone. Please remember, dapsone. D for dermatitis and D for dapsone. So for the treatment of choice, we have to give the not for the treatment of choice. Treatment of choice, we have to treat by giving the gluten-free diet. We have to give gluten-free diet, and in the gluten-free diet, as we all know, that we have to avoid these broke products like barley, rye, oats and wheat. We have to avoid all these products. So this is the treatment of choice. And the next one, the drug of choice. So for the drug of choice, D for drug and D for dapsone. D for dapsone. And it is the drug of choice for the D for dermatitis herpetiformis. It is the drug of choice for dermatitis herpetiformis. So please remember that this is a drug of choice, that is dapsone. How it treats the dermatitis herpetiformis? Basically, it inhibits the neutrophilic chemotactic factor, because in this there is attraction of lots of neutrophils. So this dapsone drug inhibits those attractions of the neutrophils. So dapsone inhibits neutrophil chemotaxis. Now, in the last, I want to tell you about some summary points. So for the summary points of the dermatitis herpetiformis, we have to remember that there is subepidermal basal split will be there. Basal split will be there. There is deposition of IgA. There is IgA autoantibodies will be involvement, and there is we can see the granular pattern. We see the granular pattern in this, and it is associated with celiac disease. It is associated with celiac disease, or in other words, we can say gluten sensitive enteropathy. Gluten sensitive enteropathy. And for the treatment of, for the drug of choice, we have to give the dapsone. We have to give the dapsone. So I hope all these points you will remember it. And one more point on the histopathology, we see the papillary tip microabscess. Papillary tip microabscesses. So and in this genetic also we have to remember, that is HLA, DQ2, DQ8 and B8. So all these were the summary points of the dermatitis herpetiformis. Thank you. Bye bye guys.